Hello there. Welcome to the Sleepy Japanese Traditions channel. I'm so grateful you found your way here. Perhaps you've had a busy day in the waking world, or perhaps you're looking for a quiet, rhythmic place to rest your thoughts. Either way, tonight's journey is crafted just for you. Tonight, we are drifting into the serene and emerald world of matcha. While it is celebrated today as a vibrant flavor in cafes across the globe, its true heart lies in the quiet temples of Kyoto and the mist-covered tea fields of Uji. Beyond the striking green powder lies a story of profound discipline, a delicate bridge between Zen philosophy and the nourishing power of nature. We'll travel gently from the shaded rows of tea bushes, protected from the harsh sun, to the rhythmic sound of stone mills grinding leaves into a velvet dust. You'll hear of the ancient monks who found clarity in a single bowl, the delicate chemistry of L-theanine that calms the mind, and the graceful, silent choreography of the tea ceremony where every movement is an act of mindfulness. It is a story of Japan's soul, told through the steam of an iron kettle and the steady whisking of bamboo. And just before we begin, if these calm explorations of Japanese traditions help you unwind, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It helps our community grow, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is rest, settle in, and allow the quiet world of matcha to carry you softly into sleep. Now, let's begin. Matcha is a finely ground powder of specially grown and processed green tea leaves, originating from ancient Chinese tea traditions. During the Tang dynasty in China, tea leaves were steamed and formed into bricks for easy storage and trade, then later ground into powder. This unique method of preparing tea was eventually brought to Japan, where it underwent centuries of refinement to become the refined substance we know today. Unlike other teas that are steeped and discarded, matcha consists of the entire leaf, which is why it possesses such a vibrant color and a remarkably potent flavor. It represents a living history of cultural exchange and agricultural evolution, serving as a vital link between ancient continental practices and the distinct development of Japanese culinary and spiritual identity over many hundreds of years. The high-quality tea leaves used for matcha are shaded from sunlight for several weeks before the annual spring harvest begins. This specialized agricultural technique, known as tana, involves covering the tea bushes with traditional bamboo mats or modern synthetic screens to block out up to 90% of direct sunlight. By intentionally depriving the plants of light, the farmers force the tea bushes to struggle and adapt, which fundamentally changes the chemical composition within the tender new shoots. This period of darkness is critical for developing the unique characteristics that define premium matcha. It is a patient process that requires constant monitoring of the weather and the health of the plants. This labor-intensive tradition ensures that only the most flavorful and vibrant leaves are produced for the once-a-year spring harvest. This shading process increases chlorophyll levels and amino acids, giving matcha its vibrant emerald color and distinctive umami flavor profile. When the tea plants are kept in the dark, they produce an abundance of chlorophyll to compensate for the lack of sunlight, resulting in a deep, lush green hue. Simultaneously, the shading prevents the amino acid called theanine from converting into bitter catechins, which keeps the leaves naturally sweet and rich in savory umami. This precise biological manipulation is what creates the perfect balance of flavors that matcha is famous for around the world. Scientifically speaking, the high concentration of these compounds makes the tea not only delicious but also incredibly vibrant to the eye. Understanding this chemistry allows us to appreciate the sophisticated botanical knowledge that Japanese tea farmers have cultivated over many generations. Unlike regular green tea, you consume the entire tea leaf when drinking matcha, providing a much higher concentration of healthy antioxidants. When you prepare a standard cup of tea, you are essentially creating an infusion and throwing away the most nutrient-dense part of the plant. However, because matcha is a suspension of fine powder in water, every single sip contains the full spectrum of vitamins, minerals, and polyphenols found in the leaf. Research indicates that one bowl of matcha can contain significantly more antioxidants than several cups of traditionally brewed green tea. This makes it a nutritional powerhouse, offering a concentrated dose of nature's goodness in a very small volume. By ingesting the whole leaf, you are directly absorbing the plant's vital energy, which is why matcha has been revered for its health benefits for centuries. The ritual of preparing matcha was brought to Japan by Zen Buddhist monks who traveled to China during the 12th century. These scholarly monks visited mainland monasteries to study Buddhist philosophy and returned with tea seeds and the knowledge of how to prepare powdered tea. Initially, tea was consumed primarily as a form of medicine and as a tool to help practitioners maintain alertness during their long and demanding meditation sessions. Over time, the simple act of preparing and drinking tea became deeply intertwined with Zen teachings, emphasizing focus, presence, and the appreciation of the current moment. This spiritual foundation is what eventually transformed tea from a simple beverage into a complex path of self-cultivation. The arrival of these seeds marked the beginning of a cultural revolution that would eventually shape the very fabric of Japanese society. Ichie, a famous Japanese Buddhist priest, is credited with popularizing matcha for its medicinal benefits and its ability to aid meditation. After returning from his travels in China, he founded the Rinzai school of Zen and wrote a famous book titled Kisa Yojoki, which translates to Drinking Tea for Health. In this influential text, Ichie described tea as a miraculous medicine that could heal various ailments and prolong human life by harmonizing the internal organs. He strongly believed that the bitter taste of the tea was essential for the health of the heart and the spirit. By promoting tea as both a physical and spiritual tonic, Ichie helped spread its use beyond the monastery walls and into the broader culture of Japan. His legacy lives on today every time someone reaches for a bowl of matcha to find a moment of clarity. During the Kamakura period, matcha became a symbol of status among the samurai class, who hosted elaborate tea-tasting competitions. These gatherings, known as tosha, were often extravagant events where participants would try to distinguish between genuine tea grown in Uji and tea produced in other regions. It was a time of great social change, and the warrior elite used these competitions to display their wealth, refined taste, and political influence. While these early parties were far more boisterous than the quiet tea ceremonies we see today, they played a crucial role in elevating matcha to a high-status cultural product. The samurai's fascination with tea helped drive the development of better farming techniques and more beautiful ceramic utensils. This period established the deep connection between the martial spirit of the warrior and the refined aesthetic of the tea room. The tea leaves used for matcha are specifically called tencha before they are stone ground into the fine powder we recognize today. Tencha is produced through a meticulous process of steaming the fresh leaves to stop fermentation, followed by air drying in a specialized oven called a tencha row. Unlike other Japanese teas like sencha, the leaves for tencha are not rolled during the drying process, which allows them to remain flat and brittle. This lack of rolling is essential because it preserves the internal structure of the leaf and makes it easier to remove the stems and veins later. Before it is ground, tencha looks like small, dark green flakes that possess a very mild and pleasant aroma. It is the raw material that holds all the potential flavor and vibrant color that will eventually be released during the final grinding stage. Removing the stems and veins from the tea leaves is a crucial step in ensuring the final matcha powder is smooth. This process is known as deveining, and it is what separates tencha from lower quality green tea powders. The stems and veins are naturally more fibrous and contain less chlorophyll and flavor than the tender meat of the leaf. If they were left in, the resulting powder would have a gritty texture and a much more yellow, bitter taste. By carefully winnowing and sorting the leaves, producers ensure that only the purest parts of the tea are sent to the grinding mills. This attention to detail is what gives premium matcha its characteristic silkiness and its ability to dissolve almost perfectly into a frothy foam. It is a silent, often overlooked step that defines the difference between culinary ingredients and ceremonial perfection. Authentic matcha is traditionally ground using large granite millstones that rotate slowly to prevent heat from damaging the delicate tea flavor. These heavy stones are carved with intricate grooves that shear the tencha flakes into a microscopic dust. The speed of the rotation is incredibly important. If the stones move too fast, the friction creates heat that can scorch the powder and turn the vibrant green into a dull brown. By maintaining a slow and steady pace, the artisan ensures that the tea remains cool and its aromatic oils are preserved. This traditional method produces a texture that is far superior to modern mechanical grinding. The rhythmic sound of the stones turning in a quiet workshop is a reminder of the patience required to create something of truly exceptional quality. It is where human tradition meets the natural strength of the earth. The specific grade of matcha used for traditional tea ceremonies is known as ceremonial grade, which has the most refined taste. This highest classification is reserved for tea that has been carefully shaded, hand-picked during the first harvest of spring, and ground by stone mills. Ceremonial grade matcha is characterized by its brilliant electric green color and a flavor that is incredibly smooth, with a strong umami presence and almost no bitterness. It is intended to be whisked solely with hot water, allowing the drinker to appreciate the pure and unadulterated essence of the tea leaves. Because of the intensive labor and specific conditions required for its production, it is the most expensive and sought-after variety. Using ceremonial-grade matcha is a way of honoring the centuries of tradition and the incredible skill of the Japanese tea masters and farmers. Culinary-grade matcha is bolder and more astringent, making it better suited for baking, smoothies, and modern green tea lattes. While it is still made from real green tea leaves, culinary grade is often produced from the second or third harvests of the year, which have been exposed to more sunlight. This results in a higher level of catechins, giving the powder a more pronounced bitterness and a slightly duller, more olive green color. However, this stronger flavor profile is exactly what is needed to stand up against other ingredients like sugar, milk, or flour in recipes. Without this robustness, the delicate notes of ceremonial matcha would be lost in a cake or a latte. Culinary-grade matcha allows the unique taste of Japanese tea to be accessible for everyday enjoyment and creative culinary experimentation around the world. The Japanese tea ceremony, or chado, translates to the way of tea and is a spiritual path centered on mindful preparation. More than just a way to drink a beverage, chado is a comprehensive discipline that integrates art, philosophy, and social etiquette into a single, cohesive practice. Every action performed by the host is a deliberate expression of hospitality and a meditation on the beauty of the present moment. The ceremony is designed to foster a sense of peace and mutual respect between the host and the guest, creating a sanctuary away from the distractions of daily life. By following the way, practitioners seek to cultivate a refined spirit and a deep appreciation for the subtle harmonies of nature. It is a living tradition that continues to offer a path toward inner stillness and cultural connection in the modern era. Sen no Rikyu is the most influential figure in tea history, having defined the aesthetics of wabi-sabi within the tea room. Living in the 16th century, Rikyu revolutionized the tea ceremony by moving away from the ostentatious display of expensive Chinese imports and toward a more humble, rustic style. He emphasized the beauty of simple, locally made objects, and the importance of a sincere heart over material wealth. His teachings establish the foundational principles of harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility that still guide the way of tea today. Rikyu's influence extended beyond the tea room, shaping Japanese architecture, garden design, and the overall cultural preference for understated elegance. He is revered as a saint of tea, and his legacy remains the gold standard for anyone seeking to understand the true spirit of Japanese tea culture. Wabi-sabi celebrates the beauty of imperfection and the natural cycle of growth and decay found in every handmade tea bowl. This philosophical concept encourages us to find aesthetic value in things that are simple, unrefined, or marked by the passage of time. In the context of the tea ceremony, a bowl with an asymmetrical shape or a crack repaired with gold is often more highly prized than a perfectly symmetrical one. This is because such objects reflect the reality of nature and the transient beauty of all things. By embracing wabi-sabi, we learn to accept the flaws in ourselves and the world around us, finding a profound sense of peace in the as-it-is nature of existence. It is a quiet, contemplative aesthetic that stands in stark contrast to the modern obsession with mass-produced perfection and constant novelty. The principle of Ichigo Ichie teaches that every tea gathering is a once-in-a-lifetime encounter that can never be perfectly repeated. Even if the same host and guests meet in the same room using the same utensils, the specific light, the seasonal flowers, and the internal state of each person will be different. This teaching encourages participants to be fully present and to treat each moment with the utmost care and sincerity, as it is a unique event that will never happen again in exactly the same way. It is a powerful reminder of the preciousness of time and the importance of our connections with others. Ichigo Ichie fosters a deep sense of gratitude for the current moment, helping us to cherish the fleeting beauty of life and the people we share it with. Matcha contains a unique amino acid called L-theanine, which promotes relaxation and focus without the jittery effects of caffeine. While coffee often causes a sudden spike in energy followed by a nervous crash, the L-theanine in matcha works to balance the caffeine, providing a sustained state of alert tranquility. This compound stimulates the production of alpha waves in the brain, which are associated with a state of relaxed focus similar to that achieved during meditation. Scientifically, this makes matcha an ideal drink for students, professionals, and anyone needing to maintain high levels of cognitive performance over several hours. This natural synergy of chemicals is why matcha has been valued by monks and scholars for centuries. It offers a unique physiological experience that supports both mental clarity and a calm, centered emotional state throughout the day. This combination of caffeine and L-theanine provides a sustained energy boost that was highly valued by monks during long meditations. For Zen practitioners, staying awake and focused during hours of seated meditation was a significant challenge. Matcha provided the perfect solution, offering the alertness needed to stay upright and the calmness needed to keep the mind from wandering. This steady release of energy meant that monks could avoid the fatigue that often comes with intense spiritual practice. Over time, the physical effects of the tea became inseparable from the spiritual experience of Zen, with the tea being viewed as a partner on the path to enlightenment. Today, many people still use matcha for this very reason, finding it a superior alternative to other caffeinated drinks for tasks that require long-term concentration and a peaceful, steady heart. Scientific research has shown that matcha is incredibly rich in EGCG, a powerful catechin that helps protect cells from oxidative stress. EGCG, or epigallocatechin gallate, is a type of antioxidant that is particularly effective at neutralizing harmful free radicals in the body. Because matcha drinkers consume the entire leaf, they receive a much higher dose of this compound compared to those who drink steeped green tea. Studies have suggested that EGCG may play a role in supporting heart health, boosting metabolism, and even protecting the brain from age-related decline. This deep chemical complexity is one of the reasons why matcha is often referred to as a superfood in modern nutritional science. Drinking a single bowl of matcha is like giving your body a concentrated infusion of natural protection, supporting long-term health through the power of ancient botanical wisdom. The water temperature for whisking matcha should never be boiling, as excessive heat results in a bitter and unpleasant flavor experience. Ideally, the water should be between 70 to 80 degrees Celsius, or around 160 to 176 degrees Fahrenheit. If the water is too hot, it scorches the delicate tea powder and releases too many tannins, masking the natural sweetness and umami of the high-quality leaves. Conversely, water that is too cool will not allow the powder to dissolve properly or produce the characteristic frothy foam on the surface. Mastering the correct temperature is one of the first and most important lessons for any tea practitioner. It requires patience and a gentle touch, emphasizing the need to harmonize with the physical properties of the ingredients to achieve the most balanced and delicious result possible. A traditional bamboo whisk, called a chasen, is carved from a single piece of bamboo to create delicate, flexible tines. Crafting a chasen is a highly specialized art form that requires years of training to master. The artisan begins with a piece of seasoned bamboo and uses a sharp knife to split one end into dozens of tiny, hair-like strands. These strands are then curled and shaped to create the perfect tool for aerating the matcha and creating a smooth, thick foam. The flexibility of the bamboo is essential, as it allows the whisk to move quickly through the water without damaging the bottom of the ceramic tea bowl. Each chasen is a testament to the incredible skill of Japanese craftsmen, transforming a simple piece of nature into a sophisticated and beautiful instrument that is essential for the tea ceremony. The number of tines on a chasen can vary, with higher counts producing a finer and creamier froth on the tea. A standard whisk might have 80 tines, while more professional versions used for thin tea can have 100 or even 120 tines. The more tines a whisk has, the more air it can incorporate into the tea with each stroke, resulting in a dense, velvety foam that many people find particularly delicious. For thick tea, a different type of whisk with fewer, sturdier tines is used to gently knead the concentrated mixture into a smooth paste. Choosing the right whisk is a matter of both personal preference and the specific style of tea being prepared. This level of detail shows how every single tool in the world of matcha is optimized to produce a specific sensory experience for the drinker. A bamboo scoop known as a chashaku is used to carefully measure the exact amount of powder needed for one bowl. Like the whisk, the chashaku is carved from a single piece of bamboo, often with a slight curve at the end to make it easier to scoop the fine powder. These scoops are highly personal objects, and in the past, famous tea masters would carve their own and give them poetic names. The shape and color of the bamboo are carefully chosen to reflect the season or the specific theme of a tea gathering. Despite its simple appearance, the chashoku is a vital tool for ensuring consistency and balance in every bowl of tea. It represents the value of precision and the beauty that can be found in a single, functional object made from the most humble of natural materials. The tea bowl, or shawan, is held with both hands as a sign of respect and appreciation for the artisan's craft. When receiving a bowl of tea, the guest uses their right hand to take the bowl and places it in the palm of their left hand, supporting it firmly but gently. This two-handed grip is a fundamental piece of etiquette in Japanese culture, signaling that the object being held is precious and that the person holding it is fully present. By feeling the weight, texture, and warmth of the bowl through both hands, the guest can form a deeper connection with the art of the potter and the effort of the host. This simple physical action transforms the act of drinking into a gesture of gratitude, reminding us to slow down and honor the many hands that contribute to our daily experiences. Before the tea is served, guests are often given a small traditional sweet called wagashi to balance the tea's natural bitterness. These sweets are made from natural ingredients like sweetened bean paste, rice flour, and seasonal fruits. They are designed not only to taste delicious but also to be a feast for the eyes, often mimicking the colors and shapes of nature. The sugar in the sweet helps to coat the tongue and prepare the palate for the intense, savory flavor of the matcha that follows. This sequence of flavors, sweet followed by bitter, is a classic example of the Japanese culinary philosophy of contrast and balance. Eating the wagashi first ensures that the unique character of the tea is highlighted, making the entire experience more complex and satisfying for the guest. Seasonal motifs are central to wagashi design, reflecting flowers, leaves, or landscapes that match the current time of the year. In the spring, you might be served a sweet shaped like a cherry blossom, while in the autumn, it might resemble a bright orange maple leaf. This connection to the seasons is a way of bringing the beauty of the outside world into the intimacy of the tea room. It encourages guests to notice and appreciate the subtle changes in nature that happen throughout the year. The master of the tea ceremony chooses the wagashi with great care, ensuring that it harmonizes with the other elements of the gathering. This attention to seasonal detail is a core part of Japanese hospitality, showing the guest that the host has put deep thought into making this specific moment in time special and memorable. The tea room is often a minimalist space, featuring a simple scroll and a seasonal flower arrangement known as shibana. This minimalism is intentional, designed to remove any unnecessary distractions and allow the focus to remain on the interaction between the host, the guest, and the tea. The scroll, or kakjiku, often features calligraphy with a Zen proverb or a poetic phrase that sets the theme for the day. The shibana, which translates to tea flowers, is a style of flower arrangement that emphasizes the natural, unadorned beauty of plants as they appear in the wild. Together, these elements create an atmosphere of quiet reflection and refined simplicity. This aesthetic approach teaches us that true beauty does not require excess, but rather a focused appreciation for the essential qualities of the things around us. Entering a traditional tea room requires guests to crawl through a small, low door called a nairaguchi to promote humility. This door is typically only about 60 to 70 centimeters square, forcing even the most powerful or wealthy person to bow their head and move on their hands and knees to enter. Historically, this meant that samurai had to leave their long swords outside, as it was impossible to carry them through the tiny opening. This physical act of bowing serves as a psychological transition, signaling that all social status and ego must be left at the door. Inside the tea room, everyone is equal, united by the shared experience of the tea ceremony. This architectural feature is a profound reminder that humility and a quiet heart are the most important qualities for anyone seeking true connection and peace. The sound of the water boiling in the iron kettle is often compared to wind blowing through a distant pine forest. This poetic description, known as matsukaze, is highly prized by tea practitioners who listen closely to the subtle changes in the water's song. To achieve this specific sound, small pieces of iron are often placed at the bottom of the kettle to influence the way the bubbles form. The gentle, rhythmic white noise of the boiling water creates a calming background that helps to settle the minds of everyone in the room. It serves as a natural soundtrack for the ceremony, grounding the participants in the physical reality of the moment. This focus on the auditory experience shows how the way of tea engages all five senses to create a holistic and deeply immersive environment for spiritual and mental relaxation. Thick tea, or koicha, uses a higher ratio of powder to water and is shared from a single bowl among guests. This is considered the formal heart of the tea ceremony, where the host prepares a concentrated, syrup-like mixture that is incredibly rich and full of umami. Because of its intensity, koicha is usually made from the highest quality ceremonial-grade matcha. The act of sharing a single bowl among several guests is a powerful symbol of unity and trust, creating a deep bond between everyone present. Each guest takes a few sips, wipes the rim with a special cloth, and passes the bowl to the next person. This shared ritual emphasizes the interconnectedness of the group and the collective appreciation of the tea. It is a slow, quiet, and deeply communal experience that represents the pinnacle of Japanese tea hospitality. Thin tea, or yuscha, is the more common style where each guest receives their own individual bowl with a frothy surface. This style of tea is lighter and more refreshing than thick tea, making it a popular choice for informal gatherings and for those who are new to the world of matcha. To prepare yuscha, the host uses a smaller amount of powder and whisks it vigorously to create a beautiful, airy foam on top. Each bowl is prepared specifically for each guest, allowing the host to show individual attention and care. While yuscha is less formal than thick tea, it still follows a precise set of movements and etiquette. It is often served after the thick tea to provide a lighter finish to the ceremony. This duality of styles allows the tea ceremony to offer both deep communal connection and personalized, individual enjoyment. The vibrant green color of matcha is highly sensitive to light and oxygen, requiring storage in a cool, dark place. Once the tea leaves are ground into a fine powder, the massive surface area makes the tea extremely prone to oxidation, which can quickly turn the brilliant emerald into a dull, brownish yellow. This chemical change not only affects the appearance but also degrades the flavor and the beneficial antioxidants within the tea. To preserve its quality, matcha should always be kept in an airtight container, such as a traditional tin or a vacuum-sealed bag. Many experts even recommend storing matcha in the refrigerator to keep the delicate compounds stable. Understanding the fragility of the powder teaches us to respect the ephemeral nature of quality and the effort required to maintain it in its most perfect and vibrant state. High-quality matcha should have a sweet, grassy aroma that evokes the freshness of a spring morning in a tea field. When you open a fresh tin of premium powder, the scent should be immediately noticeable, a complex blend of vegetal notes, toasted nuts, and a hint of natural sweetness. This aroma is a key indicator of the tea's freshness and the skill of the processing. If the matcha smells like hay or has no scent at all, it is likely old or of lower quality. In the tea ceremony, the host often allows the guest to appreciate the aroma of the powder before it is whisked into water. This olfactory experience is the first step in the journey of drinking matcha, signaling to the brain that a moment of nourishment and tranquility is about to begin. Uji, a city in Kyoto Prefecture, is world-renowned for producing some of the highest quality matcha in all of Japan. The region's rolling hills, mineral-rich soil, and misty climate provide the perfect environment for growing tender, flavorful tea leaves. Uji has a history of tea production that dates back over 800 years, and it is here that many of the most famous techniques for shading and processing were perfected. Today, Uji Matcha is considered a premium brand, sought after by tea connoisseurs and top-tier pastry chefs globally. The name Uji itself has become synonymous with excellence in the world of green tea. Visiting the historic tea shops and gardens of Uji is like traveling to the heart of Japanese tradition, where the legacy of the ancient tea masters is still preserved with immense pride and dedication to quality. Shizuoka and Nishio are also major production regions, each offering unique soil characteristics that influence the final flavor of tea. While Uji is the most famous, Shizuoka is actually the largest producer of green tea in Japan, benefiting from the fertile volcanic soil around Mount Fuji. The tea from Shizuoka often has a robust and earthy character that is highly valued. Nishio, located in Aichi Prefecture, is known for its deep history of matcha production and its focus on traditional methods that result in a particularly vibrant color and a mellow, balanced taste. Understanding these different regional profiles, or terroirs, allows tea lovers to explore a wide range of flavors and textures within the world of matcha. It is a reminder that the character of the tea is deeply connected to the specific land and climate where the plants are nurtured. The terroir of a tea garden, including soil mineral content and climate, plays a significant role in the tea's quality. Just like fine wine, the taste of matcha is an expression of the environment where the tea bushes grow. Factors such as the amount of rainfall, the average temperature, and the frequency of mountain mists all influence the chemical development of the leaves. For example, high-altitude gardens often produce tea with more intense aromatic compounds due to the greater temperature fluctuations between day and night. The minerals in the soil, such as nitrogen and potassium, are essential for the production of the amino acids that give matcha its signature umami flavor. By paying attention to where their tea comes from, enthusiasts can develop a more sophisticated palate and a deeper appreciation for the complex relationship between the earth and the final bowl of tea. Modern science suggests that the high concentration of chlorophyll in matcha may help the body in natural detoxification processes. Chlorophyll is the pigment that gives plants their green color, and it is particularly abundant in matcha due to the unique shading process the leaves undergo before harvest. Research has shown that chlorophyll can bind to certain toxins and heavy metals in the body, aiding in their elimination. Furthermore, chlorophyll is a powerful antioxidant that helps to protect our cells from environmental damage. While ancient tea masters may not have known the molecular structure of chlorophyll, they clearly understood that drinking this deep green liquid provided a cleansing and revitalizing effect on the body. This modern scientific insight adds another layer of appreciation for matcha as a functional beverage that supports our health in a natural and holistic way. Drinking matcha regularly has been linked to improved metabolic rates, making it a popular choice for those seeking weight management. This effect is largely attributed to the high concentration of catechins, particularly EGCG, which can help to increase the body's ability to burn calories through a process called thermogenesis. Unlike synthetic weight loss supplements, matcha provides this boost naturally, along with a host of other health-promoting nutrients. Furthermore, the combination of caffeine and L-theanine can help to improve physical endurance and focus, making it a great pre-workout drink. Of course, matcha is not a miracle cure, but when integrated into a balanced lifestyle, it can be a valuable ally for maintaining a healthy and active body. It is a perfect example of how traditional dietary habits can provide significant and measurable benefits for our modern health goals and overall physical well-being. The tradition of the New Year's first tea, or Hatsugama, is one of the most important events in the tea calendar. This special gathering marks the beginning of the year's practice and is a time for renewal, gratitude, and community. The host often uses their most precious and auspicious utensils to welcome guests and wish them a healthy and prosperous year ahead. The atmosphere of Hatsugama is both festive and deeply respectful, reflecting the Japanese cultural value of making a fresh and intentional start to any new endeavor. For many tea practitioners, this is the most significant ceremony of the year, a chance to reconnect with their teachers, students, and friends through the shared ritual of tea. It reminds us of the importance of marking the passage of time with beauty and shared purpose, ensuring that traditions are carried forward with joy. Many practitioners of Chado spend decades perfecting the precise movements required to clean the utensils and serve the tea. This lifelong dedication is not merely about physical coordination but is a form of moving meditation that aims to eliminate the ego. Each step, from the way a silk cloth is folded to the exact angle at which a bowl is placed, follows a strictly defined pattern that has been refined over centuries. By repeating these motions thousands of times, the practitioner eventually reaches a state where the body moves naturally without conscious thought. This mastery allows the host to be fully present for their guests, creating an atmosphere of total focus and tranquility. The journey of learning the tea ceremony is seen as a path towards self-improvement and a way to cultivate a calm and disciplined mind in every aspect of life. The synchronization of breath and movement in the tea ceremony is said to create a profound sense of inner peace. In the quiet atmosphere of the tea room, the host coordinates their physical actions with slow, rhythmic breathing, similar to the techniques used in deep meditation or yoga. This physiological alignment helps to lower the heart rate and calm the nervous system, not only for the host but also for the guests who observe the process. As the steam rises and the whisk moves in harmony with the breath, the boundaries between the self and the environment begin to soften. This rhythmic flow is designed to pull everyone present into the immediate moment, leaving behind the distractions and anxieties of the outside world. It is a beautiful example of how a simple physical ritual can lead to a state of deep psychological and spiritual relaxation. In feudal Japan, samurai were required to leave their swords outside the tea room to ensure a space of total equality. Most tea houses were designed with a small rack or a specific area near the entrance where even the highest-ranking warriors had to deposit their weapons before entering. Once they passed through the low door, all social hierarchies and military ranks were symbolically stripped away. Inside the small, intimate space, the most powerful lord and the humblest practitioner sat on the same level, sharing a single bowl of tea. This tradition emphasized that the tea room was a sanctuary of peace and mutual respect, where the common bond of humanity was more important than political power. It provided a rare and necessary neutral ground during times of conflict, allowing individuals to connect through the shared appreciation of beauty and quiet reflection. Matcha was once so valuable that it was used as a form of currency and offered as a tribute to emperors. Because the production process was so labor-intensive and the resulting powder was so rare, tea was considered a luxury item accessible only to the highest levels of society. Historical records show that powerful shoguns would gift precious tea leaves or antique tea bowls to their most loyal vassals as rewards for their military service. In some cases, a single jar of high-quality tea was considered more valuable than land or gold. This high economic and social value helped to drive the development of the complex etiquette and artistic traditions that surround matcha today. Understanding its history as a precious commodity helps us realize why every gram of this emerald powder is still treated with such immense care and reverence in modern Japanese culture. Today, matcha has transcended its traditional roots to become a global flavor sensation found in ice cream and chocolate bars. This modern evolution has allowed the unique taste of Japanese green tea to reach millions of people who might never have participated in a formal ceremony. Food scientists and chefs have discovered that the earthy, slightly bitter profile of matcha pairs exceptionally well with sweet ingredients like white chocolate, cream, and honey. You can now find matcha-infused pastries, cookies, and even savory dishes in cosmopolitan cities around the world. While some purists may worry about the commercialization of the tea, this versatility has ensured that matcha remains relevant and popular in the 21st century. It has transformed from a secluded monastic tradition into a vibrant, flexible ingredient that brings a touch of Japanese elegance to modern global cuisine and desserts. The matcha latte was popularized in Western cafes, introducing millions of new people to the unique taste of Japanese tea. By combining finely sifted matcha powder with steamed milk or plant-based alternatives, baristas created a beverage that is approachable, creamy, and visually stunning. The natural sweetness of the milk helps to balance the vegetal notes of the tea, making it an ideal entry point for those who might find traditional tea too intense or bitter. This global trend has sparked a renewed interest in the health benefits of green tea and has led many to eventually explore the more traditional ways of preparation. The matcha latte serves as a cultural bridge, proving that ancient traditions can adapt and thrive within the fast-paced environment of modern coffee culture. It has become a staple of wellness-focused lifestyles, celebrated for both its flavor and its photogenic green glow. Despite its modern popularity, the soul of matcha remains rooted in the quiet, slow-paced atmosphere of the Japanese countryside. While you can find a matcha latte in a busy airport or a high-tech city, the true essence of the tea is still found in the misty hills of regions like Uji or Shizuoka. In these rural areas, the rhythm of life is still dictated by the seasons and the needs of the tea plants. The farmers who have tended these fields for generations maintain a deep, spiritual connection to the land, working with a level of patience that is rare in the modern world. This connection to nature is what gives matcha its grounding quality, reminding us of the importance of the earth and the passage of time. To truly understand matcha, one must look beyond the trendy packaging and appreciate the silent, enduring traditions of the rural landscapes where it begins. In the tea ceremony, the host cleans the tea caddy with a silk cloth called a fukusa using stylized, rhythmic motions. The tea caddy, or natsume, is the small container that holds the precious matcha powder, and its purification is a central part of the ritual. The host folds the silk cloth in a very specific way, with each fold representing a different aspect of the heart and mind. As they wipe the surface of the container, they are not just removing physical dust, but are symbolically purifying their own spirit and the environment of the room. Every movement is performed with deliberate slowness and grace, creating a visual rhythm that captivates the guests. This act of purification sets the tone for the entire gathering, signaling that the space is now ready for the sacred act of preparing and sharing the tea together. Every movement in the ceremony is designed to be efficient, beautiful, and focused entirely on the comfort of the guest. The way of tea is built upon the concept of omotenashi, which is the Japanese spirit of selfless hospitality. The host anticipates the needs of the guest before they are even voiced, adjusting the temperature of the room, the choice of flowers, and the timing of the service to create a perfect experience. There is no wasted motion. Every hand gesture and every step across the tatami mats has a functional purpose while also contributing to the overall aesthetic harmony. By focusing entirely on the well-being of others, the host practices humility and kindness. This profound level of care ensures that every guest feels truly seen and valued, making the simple act of drinking tea a deeply moving and memorable human connection. The etiquette of rotating the tea bowl twice before drinking is a gesture of humility to avoid the front design. When the host serves the bowl, they place it so that the most beautiful side, known as the kashiki or landscape, is facing the guest. This is an act of respect from the host, offering the best view to their visitor. In return, the guest expresses their humility by rotating the bowl clockwise by 90 degrees twice, so that their lips do not touch the main decoration when they take a sip. This silent exchange of respect is a fundamental part of the tea ceremony's social contract. It shows that both the host and the guest are aware of each other's efforts and are committed to maintaining the beauty and dignity of the encounter. This small, graceful movement encapsulates the spirit of gratitude and consideration that defines Japanese tradition. After finishing the tea, it is customary to wipe the rim of the bowl where you drank as a sign of cleanliness. This small but significant gesture is performed using the fingers or a small piece of specialized paper called keishi. In the context of the tea ceremony, this act represents the guest's responsibility to maintain the harmony and purity of the shared space. By cleaning the point of contact, you show respect for the host and for any other guests who might share a bowl during thick tea service. It also reflects the Japanese cultural emphasis on leaving a place as clean or cleaner than you found it. This practice of mindfulness ensures that the physical experience of the ceremony remains as pristine as the spiritual intentions behind it, reinforcing the cycle of care and mutual consideration that defines the entire ritual. The final sip of matcha is often taken with an audible slurp to signal to the host that the tea was delicious. While making noise while eating or drinking is often discouraged in many Western cultures, in the world of Japanese tea, this specific sound is an essential piece of communication. It is known as the sui kiri, and it serves as a polite and grateful notification that the guest has finished the very last drop of the precious liquid. This sound tells the host that the tea was enjoyed to the very end, and that it is now time to proceed with the next part of the ceremony, such as cleaning the utensils. This tradition transforms a simple physical action into a meaningful signal of appreciation, bridging the silence of the tea room with a small, honest expression of satisfaction that the host finds deeply rewarding to hear. Examining the tea bowl after drinking allows guests to admire the glaze, weight, and history of the ceramic piece itself. This practice, called hiken, is a moment of deep appreciation for the artisan who created the bowl and for the host who chose it specifically for this occasion. The guest carefully holds the bowl, often lowering their elbows to the tatami mat for safety, and observes the texture of the clay and the way the colors of the glaze flow together. They might notice the shape of the foot of the bowl or the unique markings left by the kiln's fire. This quiet observation is an exercise in mindfulness, encouraging the guest to see the universe within a single object. It honors the connection between human creativity and the natural materials of the earth, acknowledging the time and skill required to produce such a functional work of art. Many famous tea bowls have been passed down through generations, carrying the stories of the masters who once held them. These historic pieces, often classified as cultural properties, are more than just containers for liquid. They are physical links to the past. Each scratch, repair, or subtle change in the glaze tells a story of the people who cared for the bowl over hundreds of years. Some bowls even have names given to them by ancient tea masters, reflecting a particular poetic sentiment or the landscape they evoke. When a guest holds such a bowl, they are participating in a long lineage of appreciation that spans centuries. This continuity of care reflects the Japanese value of preserving beauty and history for future generations. It reminds us that we are only temporary guardians of the objects we use, connected to those who came before and those who will follow. The world of matcha encourages a deep connection with the four seasons, noticing the subtle changes in temperature and light. In Japan, the appreciation of the seasons is not just a casual observation but a central pillar of life and art. The tea ceremony changes its character entirely depending on whether it is the season of cherry blossoms, the heat of summer, or the first frost of winter. The host selects everything from the scroll hanging in the alcove to the type of charcoal used in the fire to reflect the current natural environment. This synchronization with nature helps participants feel a sense of belonging within the larger world. By focusing on the unique beauty of each month, the practice of drinking matcha teaches us to cherish the present moment and to find peace in the inevitable and beautiful cycle of seasonal change. During the summer, tea is often served in shallow bowls to allow the heat to escape more quickly and cool. These bowls, known as natsu-jowan, have a wider rim and a flatter shape, which increases the surface area of the hot tea exposed to the air. This practical adjustment is a form of hospitality, ensuring that the guest can enjoy their tea comfortably even on a humid and sweltering afternoon. The visual aesthetic of a shallow bowl also evokes a sense of coolness and space, which is psychologically refreshing during the peak of the Japanese summer. Often, these bowls are made of lighter materials or feature glazes that look like cool water or ice. This thoughtful modification demonstrates how the traditions of matcha are deeply pragmatic, always prioritizing the physical comfort and the sensory experience of the guest through clever and artistic design choices. In the winter, deep and heavy bowls are used to retain the warmth of the tea against the cold air. These winter bowls, called fuyu jawan, are designed with high sides and thick walls that act as insulation, keeping the matcha at an ideal temperature for as long as possible. The narrow opening of the bowl also helps to trap the rising steam, which warms the face and hands of the guest as they prepare to drink. These bowls often feature darker, earthier glazes and a more rugged texture, providing a feeling of groundedness and security during the barren winter months. The choice of a heavier bowl is a deliberate act of care by the host, providing a small pocket of warmth and comfort against the chill outside. This seasonal contrast highlights the adaptive nature of tea culture, where every object is chosen to harmonize with the environment. Matcha is unique because it offers a full-bodied texture that is almost creamy, despite being made only with water and leaves. This remarkable mouthfeel is the result of the fine powder being suspended in the water through the vigorous action of whisking. Unlike steeped tea, which has a thin and watery consistency, properly prepared matcha has a rich density that coats the palate. This texture is often compared to a well-made espresso or a light soup, providing a satisfying sense of substance that is rare for a herbal beverage. The creaminess is further enhanced by the presence of the jade foam on the surface, which adds a layer of airiness to the drink. This complex physical sensation is one of the reasons why matcha is so highly prized by culinary experts and tea enthusiasts alike, offering a unique sensory experience that is both refreshing and deeply nourishing. Some modern chefs use matcha as a spice, adding it to savory dishes like salt for tempura or in pasta sauces. While we usually associate matcha with sweets or the tea ceremony, its strong umami profile and earthy bitterness make it an excellent seasoning for various types of food. When mixed with high-quality sea salt, it creates a vibrant green dipping salt that perfectly cuts through the richness of fried foods. In more experimental kitchens, matcha is used to add depth to seafood dishes, risottos, or even infused into oils for a subtle herbal finish. This culinary flexibility allows the essence of Japanese tea to be enjoyed in entirely new contexts, proving that its flavor profile is far more versatile than many people realize. It represents a modern fusion where ancient ingredients meet contemporary cooking techniques to create surprising and sophisticated new taste experiences. The antioxidant profile of matcha includes vitamins A, C, and E, which are essential for maintaining healthy skin and immunity. Because you are consuming the entire leaf, you receive a concentrated dose of these fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins that would be mostly lost in traditional brewing methods. Vitamin C, in particular, works in harmony with the tea's catechins to support the body's natural defenses against illness and environmental stress. Meanwhile, the presence of vitamin A and E helps to nourish the skin from the inside out, promoting a healthy glow and protecting against the signs of aging. This combination of nutrients makes matcha more than just a delicious drink. It is a holistic wellness tonic that supports multiple systems within the body. Drinking a bowl of matcha is a simple, daily act of self-care that provides a powerful boost to your overall health and long-term vitality. The process of handpicking tea leaves for top-grade matcha is still practiced today to ensure only the finest buds are selected. While many commercial tea plantations have transitioned to using mechanical harvesters for efficiency, the most prestigious gardens in Uji continue to rely on the skilled eyes and hands of experienced pickers. These workers carefully select only the 2 youngest leaves and the tender bud from the tip of each branch, ensuring that the raw material is free from tough stems or older, bitter leaves. This selective harvesting is essential for producing the refined sweetness and vibrant color that defines ceremonial-grade matcha. It is a slow and physically demanding labor that takes place during the limited window of the spring harvest. This dedication to quality at the very first step of production is what allows the final powder to achieve its world-class reputation and extraordinary depth of flavor. Shading the tea plants requires great skill, as the timing must be perfect to achieve the ideal balance of sweetness. Farmers must decide exactly when to apply the covers based on the development of the new buds and the specific weather patterns of that year. If the plants are shaded too early or for too long, they may become weak. If shaded too late, the leaves will develop too much bitterness. Experienced growers monitor the color and texture of the leaves daily, adjusting the layers of shading to control the amount of light that reaches the tea. This delicate dance with nature is a form of agricultural artistry passed down through families for generations. The goal is to maximize the production of amino acids while maintaining the health of the bush. This precise environmental management is the secret behind the smooth, mellow taste that makes high-quality matcha so remarkably different from any other green tea. Matcha powder is incredibly fine, with a particle size of only 5 to 10 microns, which is smaller than flour. This microscopic consistency is what allows the powder to remain suspended in water after whisking, creating a smooth and uniform beverage. To achieve this level of fineness, the granite millstones must be kept in perfect condition, with their grooves manually sharpened by master stonecutters. If the particles were any larger, the tea would feel sandy on the tongue and the powder would quickly settle to the bottom of the bowl. The extreme fineness also means that the tea has a massive surface area, which is why it releases its flavor and nutrients so quickly when mixed with water. This physical characteristic is a marvel of traditional engineering, representing the pinnacle of Japanese grinding technology. It is this silky texture that provides the luxurious and velvety mouthfeel that tea lovers cherish so deeply. Sifting matcha before whisking is a vital step to prevent clumps and ensure a perfectly smooth, velvety texture in the bowl. Because the powder is so fine and contains a small amount of natural moisture, the particles tend to stick together through static electricity, forming tiny lumps that are difficult to break apart with a whisk alone. By pressing the matcha through a fine mesh sifter, you break these clusters and aerate the powder, making it much easier to create a thick and beautiful foam. This simple act of preparation is a mark of a mindful practitioner who cares about the quality of the final drink. Even in a modern kitchen, taking a moment to sift the tea can transform the experience from a grainy beverage into a professional quality bowl of matcha. It is a small but essential ritual that demonstrates how attention to detail can significantly improve the outcome of a simple task. In a traditional setting, the silence of the tea room is only broken by the sound of flowing water and whisking. This intentional quiet is designed to heighten the senses and allow participants to focus entirely on the physical and spiritual experience of the moment. Without the distraction of conversation or background music, one becomes acutely aware of the steam rising from the kettle, the aroma of the fresh tea, and the texture of the ceramic bowl. This silence is not empty. It is a full and vibrant space where the mind can settle and find clarity. It encourages a form of communication that goes beyond words, where the host and guest connect through shared movements and mutual respect. In our increasingly loud and busy world, the profound stillness of a matcha gathering offers a rare sanctuary for reflection. It reminds us that sometimes the most important things are felt in the spaces between sounds. Learning the way of tea involves studying not just tea, but also architecture, garden design, calligraphy, and seasonal floral arts. A true tea master must understand how all these different elements come together to create a harmonious environment for the guest. They learn how to appreciate the construction of the tea house, the arrangement of the garden path that leads to the entrance, and the meaning behind the ink scrolls hanging in the alcove. This comprehensive education ensures that the practitioner is cultured in many different aspects of Japanese aesthetics and philosophy. The tea room is essentially a microcosmos where all these art forms intersect to support the central act of serving tea. By studying these diverse fields, the student of tea develops a refined eye for beauty and a deep understanding of how physical spaces can influence human emotions. It is a holistic approach to living that enriches the soul. The harmony between the host and the guest is the ultimate goal of any matcha-related gathering or formal tea ceremony. This relationship is built on a foundation of mutual trust and the shared intention of creating a peaceful moment in time. The host works tirelessly to prepare every detail, while the guest responds with gratitude and focused attention. This social dynamic is a reflection of the Japanese concept of wa, or harmony, which seeks to maintain balance and avoid conflict in all interactions. During the ceremony, there is no hierarchy. Everyone is united by the common purpose of enjoying the tea and the atmosphere. This sense of unity is what makes a tea gathering so spiritually nourishing, as it breaks down the barriers of the individual ego and fosters a deep sense of community. It is a reminder that the greatest joy is often found in the simple act of being present and kind to one another. Matcha has been studied for its potential to improve cognitive function and protect the brain against age-related decline in older adults. Recent scientific research suggests that the unique combination of polyphenols and amino acids in the tea may help to support neuronal health and improve memory and attention span. Specifically, the catechins in matcha are thought to cross the blood-brain barrier and provide neuroprotective effects against oxidative stress. Regular consumption has been associated with better performance on cognitive tasks in various clinical trials involving elderly participants. This modern scientific evidence supports what Zen monks have known for centuries, that matcha is a powerful ally for the mind. As our global population ages, the potential for a natural, plant-based drink like matcha to help maintain brain health is becoming an increasingly important area of study for researchers and nutritionists alike, blending ancient wisdom with future medicine. The vibrant green color of a matcha field in May is one of the most iconic and beautiful sights in Japan. During the peak of the spring harvest, the hills of tea-growing regions are transformed into a sea of lush, rolling emerald waves. This sight is particularly striking because of the contrast between the dark green of the older leaves and the bright, neon green of the new shoots destined for matcha. The scenery is often accompanied by the fresh, grassy scent of tea carried on the mountain breeze. For many Japanese people, this visual and olfactory experience marks the true beginning of the season, representing growth, renewal, and the bounty of the earth. Visiting these fields during the harvest provides a profound connection to the origin of the tea and a deep appreciation for the hard work of the farmers who maintain these stunning landscapes through the changing seasons. Many tea farmers are now adopting organic methods to preserve the health of the soil and meet global demand for purity. In the past, high-quality matcha was often grown using large amounts of nitrogen fertilizer to boost the amino acid content, but modern growers are finding ways to achieve excellent flavor using natural compost and sustainable practices. Transitioning to organic farming is a difficult and slow process that requires a deep understanding of the local ecosystem and a willingness to accept smaller yields. However, these farmers believe that protecting the environment is essential for the long-term survival of the tea industry. By avoiding synthetic chemicals, they ensure that the tea is as pure as possible for the consumer while also fostering a healthy habitat for local insects and birds. This shift towards sustainability reflects a modern interpretation of the traditional respect for nature that has always been at the heart of Japanese tea culture. The tea ceremony provides a rare opportunity in our modern, digital lives to disconnect from screens and focus on the present. In an era where we are constantly bombarded by notifications and rapid information, the slow and deliberate pace of preparing matcha offers a necessary mental reset. There are no smartphones allowed in the tea room, and the focus is entirely on the physical sensations of the steam, the texture of the bowl, and the taste of the tea. This practice of digital detoxification helps to reduce the psychological clutter that often leads to burnout and stress. By stepping into the quiet space of the tea room, you are reclaiming your attention and choosing to spend time in a way that is deeply human and grounding. It is a powerful reminder that true connection often happens in the absence of technology, through the simple shared experience of a hot drink and silence. Every element of the tea room, from the height of the ceiling to the texture of the mats, is carefully considered. The architecture of a traditional tea house, or shashitsu, is designed to evoke a sense of natural simplicity and refined rustic beauty. The ceilings are often intentionally low to create a feeling of intimacy and to encourage guests to sit in a humble posture. The floor is covered with tatami mats made of woven rush grass, which provides a soft, organic texture and a pleasant, earthy scent. Even the walls are typically finished with natural clay or plaster in muted tones that reflect the changing light of the day. This deliberate design philosophy ensures that the physical environment supports the spiritual goals of the ceremony, helping to transport the participants away from the complexities of the world and into a state of profound architectural and mental harmony. Matcha's popularity in the United States has led to the opening of dedicated matcha bars in cities like New York and London. These modern establishments have reimagined the traditional tea house for a fast-paced urban audience, offering everything from classic whisk tea to creative matcha-infused cocktails and sodas. While the setting is different, many of these bars still emphasize the quality of the powder and the precision of the preparation. This global expansion has turned matcha into a lifestyle brand associated with health, mindfulness, and a sophisticated global palate. It has also created a new market for Japanese tea farmers, encouraging them to maintain their high standards for an international audience. The rise of the matcha bar shows that the core appeal of the tea, its unique flavor and its ability to provide a calm energy, is something that resonates with people across all cultures and continents. The flavor of matcha is often described as vegetal, resembling the taste of fresh baby spinach or young, tender wheatgrass. This green and grassy profile is a direct result of the high chlorophyll content and the unique shading process the leaves undergo. Alongside this vegetal quality, a well-prepared bowl of matcha also features a complex oceanic note, sometimes compared to the savory scent of toasted seaweed. There is also a distinct bitterness that should feel clean and refreshing rather than overwhelming or harsh. This bitterness is immediately followed by a lingering sweetness that coats the tongue, a phenomenon known in Japanese as kokoro boso. Describing the flavor of matcha is a challenge because it combines so many different sensory elements into a single experience. It is a taste that invites you to slow down and really pay attention to the subtle nuances of each individual sip. While the taste can be an acquired one, many people find they crave the grounding and earthy qualities of the tea. For those new to matcha, the initial bitterness can be a surprise, but with repeated exposure, the brain begins to recognize and appreciate the deep umami and the relaxing effects of the L-theanine. Much like dark chocolate or fine wine, the complexity of matcha requires a bit of patience to fully understand and enjoy. Many regular drinkers describe the sensation of drinking matcha as being awake but calm, a state of alert relaxation that becomes quite addictive in a busy world. This unique psychological effect, combined with the rich and earthy flavor profile, creates a sensory memory that draws people back to the tea time and again. Over time, what was once a strange or bitter drink becomes a comforting and essential part of a person's daily wellness ritual. In Japan, matcha-flavored snacks are so popular that they occupy entire sections of convenience stores during the peak spring season. This seasonal marketing, known as matcha season, sees a massive influx of green-tinted products ranging from chocolate-covered biscuits and soft-serve ice cream to traditional rice cakes and even savory chips. For many Japanese consumers, these snacks are a way to celebrate the arrival of the new tea harvest and the changing of the seasons. The popularity of these items also helps to keep the flavor of matcha familiar to younger generations who may not participate in formal tea ceremonies regularly. These products often use different grades of matcha to achieve the desired balance of color and flavor, demonstrating the ingredients' versatility. This commercial phenomenon shows how deeply integrated matcha remains in the everyday life and consumer culture of Japan, far beyond its ancient and spiritual origins. Using a high-quality bowl and whisk at home can transform a simple morning routine into a therapeutic ritual of self-care. You do not need to be a certified tea master to enjoy the meditative benefits of preparing matcha in your own kitchen. The act of sifting the powder, heating the water to the correct temperature, and using a bamboo whisk to create a beautiful foam forces you to slow down and focus on the task at hand. This 5-minute practice can serve as a powerful anchor for your day, providing a moment of stillness before the responsibilities of work and life begin. Investing in beautiful, handcrafted tools also adds a layer of aesthetic pleasure to the experience, encouraging a deeper appreciation for the craft. By bringing this ancient tradition into your home, you are creating a personal sanctuary where you can cultivate peace and mindfulness one bowl at a time. The history of matcha is a testament to how a simple plant can influence the culture and philosophy of an entire nation. What began as a medicinal drink for monks eventually shaped the architecture, art, social etiquette, and even the political history of Japan. The values associated with matcha, simplicity, humility, and respect for nature, have become core components of the Japanese identity. The tea ceremony acted as a laboratory for aesthetic ideas like wabi-sabi, which continue to influence modern designers and artists around the world today. It is rare for a single beverage to have such a profound and lasting impact on the way a society views itself and the world around it. Matcha is not just a drink. It is a cultural vessel that carries the wisdom of the past into the present, reminding us of the enduring power of beauty and the importance of a disciplined spirit. Matcha is often used in Zen temples to help monks stay alert during long periods of seated zazen meditation practice. The unique combination of caffeine and the amino acid L-theanine provides what is often called a calm alertness, which is perfect for maintaining the intense focus required for meditation. Unlike coffee, which can cause jitteriness and a subsequent crash, the energy from matcha is released slowly over several hours. This sustained focus allows the monks to remain still and present without feeling sleepy or overly agitated. The ritual of preparing the tea also serves as a transition point, helping to clear the mind and prepare the body for the disciplined work of zazen. This historical and practical connection between tea and Zen is why matcha is still deeply respected in Buddhist traditions today as a valuable tool for spiritual development and mental clarity. The steam rising from a bowl of matcha carries aromatic compounds that are believed to reduce psychological stress and anxiety levels. When you whisk the tea, the agitation releases volatile oils that produce a fresh, grassy, and slightly sweet scent. Inhaling these aromas is an integral part of the tea experience, acting as a form of aromatherapy that signals the brain to relax. Scientific studies have suggested that certain compounds in green tea aroma can have a direct effect on the central nervous system. promoting a sense of well-being even before you take the first sip. This olfactory aspect of the tea ceremony is one of the reasons why the atmosphere of the tea room feels so immediately calming. By taking a moment to breathe in the steam, you are engaging all your senses in the process of relaxation, making the act of drinking tea a truly holistic and soothing experience. Authentic Japanese tea gardens are designed to be roji, or dewy paths, that prepare the mind for the ceremony ahead. As a guest walks through this carefully curated landscape, they are meant to shed the dust and worries of the outside world. The garden is not filled with bright, distracting flowers, but rather with moss, stones, and evergreen trees that create a sense of deep, shaded tranquility. This transition space is a physical manifestation of the journey toward inner peace. Every stepping stone is placed at a specific distance to control the pace of the walk, ensuring that the guest arrives at the tea house in a state of calm readiness. The roji serves as a threshold between the chaotic waking world and the sacred, timeless space of the tea room. It is a beautiful example of how nature and design can be used to guide human emotion and focus. The water used for matcha is ideally soft water, as hard water can interfere with the extraction of the tea's flavor. In Japan, the natural spring water is typically soft and low in mineral content, which allows the delicate umami and sweetness of the green tea to shine through without being masked by metallic or chalky notes. If the water is too hard, the minerals can react with the tea's polyphenols, resulting in a flat taste and a duller color. Serious tea practitioners often go to great lengths to source the perfect water, sometimes traveling to specific mountain springs known for their purity. Even the way the water is heated in a traditional iron kettle, or tetsubin, can subtly alter its character, adding a hint of sweetness and depth. This attention to the purity of the water reflects the fundamental Japanese principle that every single ingredient must be in perfect harmony. Ancient tea masters believed that the quality of the water was just as important as the quality of the tea leaves. Sen no Reku, the most famous tea master in history, often emphasized that the way of tea was simply about boiling water, whisking the tea, and drinking it with a sincere heart. However, this simplicity required the highest standards for every element involved. Masters would study the sound of the water boiling in the kettle, categorizing the bubbles and the steam to determine the exact moment the water was ready. They understood that water is the medium through which the soul of the tea leaf is expressed. Without high quality, pure water, even the most expensive ceremonial-grade matcha would fail to reach its full potential. This philosophy teaches us that in life, the foundations and the hidden elements are often what determine the ultimate quality of the visible results. Matcha contains a small amount of fiber and protein, making it more nutritionally complex than standard infused herbal or black teas. While most teas are merely flavored water, matcha is a suspension of plant matter, meaning you are actually consuming the physical components of the leaf. This includes insoluble fibers that are beneficial for digestion and small amounts of vegetable protein that contribute to the tea's substantial mouthfeel. Furthermore, the presence of these macronutrients helps to slow down the absorption of caffeine, preventing the sudden spikes and crashes associated with other caffeinated beverages. This nutritional density is a major reason why matcha has been classified as a superfood in modern health circles. It provides a balanced source of energy and nourishment that supports the body's systems in a gentle and sustained way. By drinking matcha, you are literally consuming the concentrated essence of a leafy green vegetable. The traditional tea whisk should be soaked in warm water before use to soften the bamboo tines and prevent breakage. A chasen is a delicate instrument, hand-carved from a single piece of bamboo, and its tines are extremely thin and prone to snapping if they are too dry or brittle. By placing the whisk in a bowl of warm water for a minute before preparation, the bamboo becomes flexible and resilient, allowing it to move smoothly through the tea. This preparatory step is also a moment for the host to inspect the whisk and ensure it is perfectly clean and intact. In the context of the tea ceremony, this is known as kensen. It reflects a deep respect for the tools of the craft and a commitment to providing the guest with the best possible experience. Treating these simple bamboo objects with such care reminds us to value the tools that help us in our daily lives. When whisking, one should use a vigorous W motion of the wrist rather than a circular motion to create foam. This specific technique is essential for aerating the tea and breaking up any tiny clumps that might remain, resulting in a thick, velvety layer of bubbles. The movement should be fast and light, coming from the wrist rather than the arm, almost like a hummingbird's wings. In the school of Urisenk, a thick head of foam is preferred, as it creates a creamy texture and mellows the bitterness of the tea. In other schools, like Omo Senk, a thinner layer of foam with a small pool of clear green tea is the aesthetic goal. Regardless of the style, the act of whisking is a rhythmic and focused task that requires both strength and delicacy. It is the climactic moment of preparation where the dry powder is finally transformed into a living, frothy beverage. The foam on top of the tea is often called the jade foam, symbolizing the vitality and energy of the nature. This beautiful name captures the vibrant, life-affirming color of a perfectly prepared bowl of matcha. The tiny microscopic bubbles that make up the foam are thought to represent the breath of the tea, reflecting the life force of the plants that grew in the sun and shade. For centuries, poets and tea masters have written about the beauty of this foam, comparing it to the mist on a mountain or the froth on a spring stream. Drinking through the foam provides a soft, airy entrance to the more intense flavors of the liquid below. It is a sensory bridge that balances the earthy depth of the tea with a light and refreshing texture. The jade foam is a reminder that beauty can be found in the most fleeting and delicate of things. Matcha production is an art form that requires a lifetime of experience to master the subtle nuances of roasting and grinding. The final flavor of the tea is determined by the chashi, or tea master, who oversees the blending and processing of the leaves. They must decide the exact duration of the final drying process, which can bring out different aromatic notes ranging from nutty and toasted to fresh and grassy. Blending is also a critical skill, as the master combines leaves from different fields and harvests to create a consistent and harmonious flavor profile for their brand. This expertise is often passed down through families, with secrets of the trade kept for generations. Even with modern technology, the human palate and intuition remain the most important tools in the production of high-grade matcha. It is a profession that honors the past while striving for a perfect cup of tea in the present. Even the way a matcha container is opened and closed follows a specific set of rules to maintain the tea's dignity. In a formal ceremony, the host treats the tea caddy with the same reverence one might show to a sacred object. The lid is removed with precise finger movements and placed on the mat in a way that prevents any dust from entering or tea from spilling. This level of care is not just about being neat. It is about acknowledging the immense effort that went into producing the powder inside. By moving with intention and respect, the host elevates the act of serving tea into a profound ritual. It reminds everyone present that nothing should be taken for granted, and that even the smallest vessel deserves our full attention and grace. This discipline helps to create a heightened atmosphere where every detail is infused with meaning and quiet beauty. Drinking matcha is an act of drinking the essence of the sun, soil, and rain that nurture the tea plant's growth. Because the whole leaf is consumed, you are directly taking in the minerals from the Japanese earth and the energy captured by the leaves through photosynthesis. This connection to the natural world is a core philosophical tenet of the way of tea. It encourages us to think about the interconnectedness of all things, how the weather in a remote mountain village in Kyoto eventually affects the flavor of the drink in your hand. This perspective fosters a deep sense of gratitude for the bounty of nature and the labor of the farmers. In a world where we are often disconnected from the origins of our food, matcha serves as a powerful reminder of our biological and spiritual ties to the planet. It is a humble, green communion with the natural forces that sustain all of life. The future of matcha lies in sustainable farming and the continued appreciation of its role in promoting a mindful, healthy lifestyle. As the world becomes increasingly aware of the environmental impact of agriculture, Japanese tea farmers are leading the way by integrating traditional wisdom with modern ecological science. By reducing chemical inputs and fostering biodiversity within the tea gardens, they are ensuring that the soil remains fertile for the next 1,000 years. This transition is not just about environmental protection, it is also about preserving the purity and soul of the tea itself. Consumers today are looking for products that align with their values of health and planetary care, and matcha fits this need perfectly. The enduring appeal of this ancient green powder suggests that it will remain a cornerstone of global wellness for generations to come, evolving to meet the challenges of the future while staying true to its roots. Young Japanese generations are finding new ways to enjoy matcha, blending traditional techniques with modern fashion and lifestyle trends. While the formal tea ceremony remains a respected pillar of culture, many young people are incorporating matcha into their daily routines through minimalist home rituals or visits to stylish, contemporary tea cafes. These new spaces often strip away the intimidating barriers of formal etiquette while maintaining the core focus on quality and presence. You can now see matcha being paired with modern art, electronic music, and global fashion, proving that its aesthetic is timeless and adaptable. This cultural shift is vital for keeping the tradition alive, as it allows each new generation to find their own personal meaning within the emerald bowl. It is a beautiful example of how a heritage can remain vibrant and relevant by embracing change rather than resisting it, ensuring the flame of tradition never fades. Matcha is a bridge between the past and the future, connecting ancient spiritual practices with modern nutritional science and global culture. On one side of this bridge, we have the 12th century monks who used the tea for meditation and healing. On the other side, we have modern researchers uncovering the complex molecular benefits of its powerful antioxidants. This dual nature is what makes matcha so fascinating to people around the world today. It offers a tangible connection to a storied history while providing scientifically proven benefits that address the stressors of contemporary life. Whether it is used as a spiritual tool or a physical tonic, the tea remains a constant source of nourishment for both the body and the mind. It is a unique cultural artifact that has successfully traveled through time, bringing a sense of balance and harmony to whoever is lucky enough to hold a bowl. The global community of tea enthusiasts continues to grow, sharing knowledge and respect for this unique Japanese green tea tradition. Through social media, international workshops, and digital tea clubs, people from diverse backgrounds are learning the intricacies of tea grading, whisking techniques, and the history of uji. This global exchange has created a new level of appreciation for the labor and skill involved in Japanese tea production. It has also led to a beautiful cross-pollination of ideas, where traditional Japanese aesthetics are interpreted through the lens of different cultures and perspectives. This shared passion for matcha fosters a sense of global connection and mutual respect, proving that a simple bowl of tea can transcend language and borders. As more people discover the quiet joy of matcha, the circle of wa, or harmony, continues to expand across the world, one mindful sip at a time. Understanding matcha requires us to slow down and appreciate the small details that we often overlook in our daily lives. In our modern culture of speed and efficiency, the requirement to wait for the water to cool, to sift the powder, and to whisk with focus can feel like a radical act of rebellion. However, it is precisely in these slow moments that we find the most clarity and peace. Matcha teaches us that the process is just as important as the result, and that there is profound beauty to be found in the mundane tasks of preparation. By paying attention to the color of the foam or the sound of the whisk, we are training our minds to be present and engaged with the world around us. This lesson in mindfulness is perhaps the greatest gift that the way of tea offers to the modern world, helping us to lead more intentional and fulfilling lives. The deep green of the tea reminds us of our connection to nature and the importance of preserving the environment for future. Every bowl of matcha is a concentrated reflection of the earth, the water, and the sun, captured within a vibrant, vegetal liquid. When we see that striking emerald color, we are looking at the result of months of careful shading and the biological vitality of the tea plant. This visual reminder encourages a sense of stewardship and gratitude for the natural world that sustains us. As we face global environmental challenges, the traditions of the tea garden offer a model of how humans can work in harmony with the land rather than in competition with it. By cherishing the purity of our tea, we are also making a silent commitment to protect the ecosystems that produce it. Matcha is a liquid prayer for the health and beauty of our planet. Every cup of matcha served is an invitation to experience a moment of peace, regardless of where you are in the world. Whether you are sitting in a centuries-old temple in Kyoto or in a crowded office in a bustling metropolis, the act of drinking matcha creates a private sanctuary for the soul. The tea does not demand anything from you. It simply offers its warmth, its flavor, and its calming energy. It provides a brief pause in the narrative of our busy lives, allowing us to breathe deeply and reset our focus. This accessibility is one of matcha's most beautiful qualities. It is a portable tradition that carries the spirit of Zen wherever it goes. In a world that often feels fractured and overwhelming, the simple invitation to share a bowl of tea remains a powerful gesture of peace and human connection that anyone can participate in. The discipline required to master the tea ceremony reflects the broader Japanese value of pursuing perfection in every small, daily task. This pursuit, known as shokunin kichitsu or the craftsman's spirit, is about finding dignity and meaning in the repetition of a craft. Whether it is grinding the leaves to the perfect micron or folding a silk cloth with mathematical precision, the goal is to perform each action with total sincerity and skill. This dedication to excellence is not about ego or competition, but about showing respect for the work itself and for the people who will experience it. By applying this same level of care to a simple cup of tea, we learn that no task is too small to be worthy of our full attention. This philosophy enriches our lives by transforming ordinary chores into opportunities for artistic expression and spiritual growth, fostering a culture of quality and mindfulness. As you explore the world of matcha, you discover that it is much more than a drink. It is an experience. It is the cool touch of the ceramic bowl, the earthy aroma of the steam, the rhythmic sound of the bamboo whisk, and the complex dance of sweetness and bitterness on the tongue. It is a journey through history, science, and philosophy that unfolds with every sip. Every time you prepare a bowl, you are participating in a living art form that has been refined by millions of hands over hundreds of years. This depth of experience is what makes matcha so rewarding to study and enjoy over a lifetime. There is always a new nuance to discover, a new bowl to admire, or a deeper level of focus to achieve. It is an endless exploration of what it means to be present, to be grateful, and to be in harmony with the world. Whether enjoyed in a quiet temple or a busy city, matcha remains a timeless symbol of Japanese hospitality, serenity, and grace. It is a tradition that has survived wars, social upheavals, and the transition into the digital age because its core message is universal. It speaks to our basic human need for stillness, for beauty, and for meaningful connection with others. As a symbol of omotenashi, it represents the highest form of selfless service, where the host's only goal is the happiness of the guest. As we move forward into an uncertain future, the steady, grounding presence of matcha continues to offer us a path toward balance. It reminds us that no matter how much the world changes, the simple act of sharing a bowl of tea will always be a sacred and beautiful way to find peace. Perhaps you'll look at a vibrant bowl of matcha a little differently now, noticing the deep shade of the tea fields captured in its color, the centuries of Zen wisdom in its preparation, and the quiet craftsmanship in every whisked bubble. Matcha is a harmony of nature and spirit, a bridge between the ancient mountain slopes of Japan and the quiet sanctuary of your own heart. As you drift towards sleep, let these thoughts settle softly. Breathe deeply and allow the gentle, rhythmic world of the tea garden to carry you into rest. Imagine the misty, emerald hills of Uji at dawn, the cool dew on the tea leaves, the soft sound of a bamboo water pipe in a hidden garden, and the comforting warmth of a heavy ceramic bowl held between your palms. Let these sensations blur and fade as sleep approaches, as balanced and serene as the flavors that have nourished our thoughts tonight. If you happen to still be awake, you can go ahead and rest your eyes and drift away into the stillness. But if your mind is growing quiet, if your body feels heavy and relaxed, let yourself surrender to sleep. Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and allow everything to fall away. Drift into the deep, into the emerald shadows, into the peaceful, silent embrace of the tea room. Rest now. Let the stories of the harvest and the way of tea settle into your dreams, and may you wake refreshed, with a spirit as clear and bright as the morning sun. Good night.